Welcome to Guitar Vacation. Have a interesting story about me taking a guitar lesson and how I came about doing that with this particular teacher. I've taken lessons here and there over the years, mostly from jazz players with the goal of progressing my playing towards the direction of jazz. And this lesson came about by there I was on the gear page talking about the minutia of guitar gear and doing that instead of practicing like I should be. And I'll try to link to this stuff down below. But there was a thread, and I'm going to paraphrase the title. I'm not looking at it, but it was something to the effect about a guitar player that was saying Allan Holdsworth's music was bad. And I am an unapologetic Holdsworth fan, have been for years. You know, got his signature guitar here from back in the days when the company was still carving. Now, I'm obviously not Allan Holdsworth, and I can only sneak in little bits of stuff I've picked up from listening to him over the years. But I definitely have deep dove Holdsworth's music and been inspired by his playing. So me coming from that angle of, hey, Allan Holdsworth is someone who I refer to as a big influence and favorite player. You know, I was interested in the thread, and I'll also post the video where this criticism, or if you call it that, takes place. It is by a guitar player and guitar teacher named Bryan Baker. And I was not really familiar with Bryan and his playing and all of that before I started reading the thread. And I listened to that particular video. It's long, but he's talking about rhythm and groove and timing and its place at the top of the heap when it comes to music and musicality. And, you know, from a global standpoint on the video, I totally agree with everything he said. And when it came to him talking about Allan Holdsworth's music, he said, hey, his music is not good. And, you know, everybody's like, well, that's sacrilegious. And me being a dude and a guitar player that you know, would never think along those lines, it really caused me to pause and assess what Bryan Baker was saying and how it related to my playing. And sometimes that's hard to do. When it came to processing the statement that Allan's music was not good, I had to really think about what I got from listening to Allan's music and what my objective was, what I was getting out of it. And the truth of the matter is, it was more of a awe from a guitar standpoint. Obviously, awe in his really unique approach to harmony, and then throw in the technique and legato and all that, and I still, still had those elements that I try to do in my playing. I'm more like Allan Holdsworth than Allan Holdsworth. But anyway, am I sitting around listening to the 16 Men of Taine and getting an emotional connection like I do with my favorite music that really connects with me in here, which is ultimately the goal of music to me, is the ability to, I think of it like emotion in a bottle. If you want to feel an emotion, there is a music that is in a bottle that you can crack open and feel that emotion. If I want to feel like I felt when I was 16 years old, there are songs that can put me right there and truly feel those emotions just like I did then. But anyway, I don't think I've ever really listened to Allan's music with that going on. And the influence he's had on my playing has been from me approaching it as a guitar player, from technique and what he's doing differently as far as phrasing and stuff like that. And do I sit around and listen to it for that emotional connection? No, I don't, and I don't think I ever have. And then also, do I want my music that if I were to record an album or be in a band to sound like that? And the answer is no. And that was kind of a powerful realization. So by the time I really processed everything Bryan Baker said in that particular video. I matched it up to my own playing, and like I said, he's talking about rhythm, groove, and timing being paramount above melody, and then harmony below that. And I completely agree. And also, I have to recognize that because I spent so many of my formative years that are important to becoming who you are as a guitar player, trying to be a hot shot shred guy when I was younger, that I neglected focusing on that rhythm and timing. And the truth is, by the time I realized that that was a weaker part of my playing, probably a little over 10 years ago, I had a hole in my playing, and I've been digging myself out of that hole ever since. A lot of time spent with me and the good old metronome. And I have improved. But the truth of the matter is, when I push my limits on playing, and I'm trying to do the things that I'm hearing in my head and trying to execute playing like I really want to play, usually where it falls apart first for me is timing, rhythm and timing. And what started off as a joke, me trying to be funny and snarky, I think I started off posting in the thread of something to the effect that I was going to schedule a lesson with Bryan and see if he could teach me how to play the third messianic mode over Earth, Wind, and Fire songs. And, ha. But the joke became, in my own head, a commentary on my playing and what I needed to focus on. So he's got some podcast material out there. The podcast is called Principles of Music, and I deep dove that and deep dove all of his music that I could put my hands on, all of Bryan Baker's music. And that's when I started to think about that as not a joke anymore, but as this may be the teacher that can finally help me fill in that hole. And by the way, if you like, I don't even know what to call it, badass fusion with ridiculously awesome groove and all the harmonic adventure that you could ever want, his playing delivers all of that in the best way. I mean, it is just awesome. So check out Bryan Baker's music and what he has to say about music in his podcast material. But anyway, the more I thought about it, the more it became a reality that I should seek him out as a guitar teacher. And lo and behold, I get on the good old internets, and he gives online guitar lessons. And I was really you see, that's why I need the guitar lessons. I was really pleasantly surprised and excited when I saw that he does give lessons and is accessible to a dude like me. Fast forward, I scheduled a lesson, and I had my first one yesterday. And it's not my intention to put his teachings out there. He makes a living by teaching a certain way, and but it delivered. It was a paradigm shifting experience for me and my whole approach to playing. We did focus on the rhythm and timing and groove, because that was at my request because of my weakness I'm trying to address. But just that, even though that was the focus, the lesson itself, and it totally challenged and caused me to readdress my whole approach to making music, what that means, what that is, what the goal is, and frankly made this thing I do for fun in my bedroom even more important when I thought about all of the knowledge and approach he was giving me. And you know, I may make a video posting more about what I'm doing practice wise, and how I'm gonna formulate a plan and execute that to make my playing better. But like I said, I'm not here to take the teaching approach he has, and it's not like a industry secret or anything. There's nobody that can do what he does, but the end result was like I was picking up the guitar for the first time this morning when I started doing my morning practice. It was that paradigm shifting. And even just practicing one time with that different mindset, I already felt different practicing. And that is a powerful thing for somebody that's been playing 30 years to have one lesson that blows everything up so you can rebuild it again. And aside from that, I'll say that the lesson and conversation and everything was awesome. He's really a diamond in the rough as far as his mind, not just about music, but approach and how all of that relates into things even outside of music, into art and into art, how it is tied to the human experience. And when you start getting into that, and I'm trying to convey that through this, I'm not just playing 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. That's powerful. So I just wanted to talk about that, about me taking a lesson, and point out the irony. It started out me on the gear page reading a thread about a guitar player criticizing somebody who I would call one of my guitar heroes. And by the end, I came full circle and said, I need this guy to be my teacher. And then came even further, and now he is my teacher. And I'm excited to see where it takes my playing. The bonus for you as the viewer, hopefully my playing will get better. So we'll see. It's up to me to execute, but I'm excited to do it. And to find an experience like that after playing guitar for 30 years is pretty awesome. So thank you to Bryan. He probably won't ever see this. He doesn't do the whole I'm watching TV and YouTube videos thing. He's more on the Zen master plane of trying to live, unsurprisingly. But anyway, that's the story about me taking a guitar lesson from a guy I found because he criticized Allan Holdsworth. I still like Allan Holdsworth, and I'm still going to try to do Allan Holdsworth-like stuff in my playing, but I will never do it at the expense of groove and timing and trying to make music that has a chance to emotionally connect. And lastly, I don't want to make the appearance of me criticizing Allan, because I know there are a lot of guys that do emotionally respond to Allan's music, and I can understand why. But for me and where I'm trying to go as a musician, I have to adopt the principles of rhythm and groove and timing in the way that Bryan talks about them. And that's not necessarily a goal Allan had in his own music. So I'll leave that there. Still love Allan Holdsworth. Still have my Holdsworth guitar, and I'll still try to sound like him and won't anyway. So, hey, that just goes to show anybody can take a lesson from anybody. And if you're trying to make the jump in your own playing, there's probably a guitar teacher that you can connect with, even if it's taking an online lesson like I did, that may be able to take you to the next level where you want to go. So I'll end it there. Got a couple pieces of gear that are floating around back here that I intend to make some demo or just videos about, and I'm looking forward to that, and those will be forthcoming as time allows. But for now, happy guitar vacation to you all, and you enjoy your guitar vacation. Later.